and the script that we worked on that day. What was the name of that script? Can anyone remember? Let me bring the test case first. Test case. Test case. So probably this was the test case that we did. Yeah, I am opening the test case. So we did this test case. What we did in this test case, we invoked the application, verified something from the application, then clicked on sign up, then we verified something from the screen, and then input sign up information and click continue, and then we have verified username text displayed, and then input that user ID and password that we registered for login.
We just got
Welcome, yes. So that one we have removed this thank you and comma, right? We verified that, and
thank you. This
welcome.
Thank you, comma.
okay.
Thank you, comma. Welcome, comma.
Okay, and then we have
user. We have just user. Username.
here
Last one.
Welcome to the web tour site.
No, we don't find anything. Just we find username and password. So we use the user.
Okay, yeah. So over there we just verified username in the screen. Now, so it was a complete test case that we did in the last class, right? Let me bring that script. Let me go to that script. This was our script, and again step by step, if we take a look here, we opened application, and after opening we have verified this, right? So what is the purpose? Like when we are opening application, where we are opening application, in which line? Can anyone tell me at what line we are opening application? Yeah, so that is where we are making the request. But before this line, what do we have here? We have a manual correlation and we have a checkpoint. So now when we are making this call for open the application, we are sending a request to the server. Server in response is giving us back some data. In that data, in that set of data, what we are looking for? We are looking for this text to make sure that our opening application is successful. And also we are looking for what? We are looking for that session ID. Session ID. Why we need that session ID?
Every time his URL is changing.
No, we need this session ID because when you log in, you need to use that session ID. Every time you log in, it is a new session ID, and that session ID generates when you open the application. So we are capturing that session ID in the opening application, and then later on when we are logging in, we are using that session ID.
saying to the server that whatever is opening, but you have to use this session ID to open the application.
No, to log in.
Login, yes.
So we are capturing that session ID in opening application, and then in sign up, right? Yeah, it's being recorded. Now in sign up, can you see when we are clicking on sign up, then we are verifying something, customer profile, right? So let me also HP web tool server, and then we are going to start HP web tool application. Server is already there. I need to open the application now. Server. HP web tool application. Now in this application, what we did in that test case, in that particular test case, we opened the application, we verified that when you open application, we made sure that this text is present in the screen. Can you see when your application, when you have opened the application, you have this text, welcome to the web tools application. Now then we are clicking on sign up now. After clicking on sign up now, then we are verifying what? Customer profile. According to our test case, we are verifying customer profile. Then we are inputting the information and clicking on continue. So here we are inputting information, and then you are inputting all of this information. Right, you are submitting, and then you are clicking on continue, and after that you are verifying this thank you, right? And then whatever user you have created, let's say you have created info, and then you are logging in by this user ID, and then you are making sure this welcome text displayed, and finally you clicked on sign up, and then you verified that this username displayed, right? Now in this script we did everything. We have if you take a look in the parameter setup, right, we have how many parameters here? We have a thousands parameter, right? 1000 parameter. Now if you take a look, I already have registered first 100 users, right? We already have registered first 100. What is this? Why is the password is having this one, right? Okay, let me show you. First 100 user is already registered. Now if you go there, if you go to the application, and password is sign in. So incorrect password. Let's see what is that incorrect password. So it is saying incorrect user ID or password, right? Okay, so probably our user is not registered. So what I'm going to do, let's say if I try to register this user, let me see what happens. So this, and then L12345, L12345. Now it's saying that you have reached the page incorrectly, probably because of bad user session value. Okay. Let me see. I'll have to restart this. Not because of that. Hold on. Here, this is the user ID that I want to register, and then password is L12345, and if I try to register it. So now that means those users are not registered, right? Okay. So that's fine. What I'm going to do here, if you take a look inside the script, how many parameters I have? I have a thousand parameter. Out of those 1000 parameter, let me see, like if I execute the script now for a couple of iterations, what happens? Close. Now if you go to runtime settings, let's say I want to execute this script for 2 iterations or 3 iterations, right? What will you do? Run logic, you select 3 iterations, right? And then when you execute the script for 3 iterations, then which data will be used? 1, 2, 3, right? So let me do this. Most probably I already registered user from 1 to 10, but let's see. Sign up, no, it is not registered. Can you see? Thank you, Park 1 is registered now. And then have a breakpoint here. Let me remove this breakpoint. Okay. Now you can see that HP Park 2 it is registering, right? Now what we are going to do, the same script, we did the script. Now we are going to execute this script from controller, right? Now can you see these 3 users is already registered? HP Park 1, Park 2, Park 3, and also the other one Park 15. So it will be, we will not be able to re-register them. There will be error. There will be some error, right? Now this script, what I'm going to do, I'm going to execute this script from controller. This script, we have multiple sessions on describing how we generate this script. Now I want to focus a little bit on the controller. Now my question to you, can anyone tell me what is think time, what is spacing time? Can anyone tell me? Go ahead. Thinking means like where do we use think time? Okay, go ahead.
Think time is used between the complete transaction. You put a pause.
In between transactions. Let's say you are opening application, before you log in, you put a think time, right?
Spacing is after when you finish all of the transaction, you start a new iteration. You put it like a break or the application have a timeout before starting new iteration.
So before you start a new iteration, you put a break, right over there. Now what is the purpose of using think time and pacing time?
You can understand easily with one by one. You can find out if every transaction is working correctly. You can
No, not really, Nabed.
Giving the space is pause to for another transaction correctly, because don't get with the speed is not overloading one transaction to another transaction. And like after every iteration the patient does the same thing, so that after every transaction is just giving a pause and break.
So it's to avoid
Correctly to run the
It's really actually, yeah, you are right. We are giving a little bit break.
When
Yeah.
it's finished, like on transaction, it's take break. Then it is
Yeah, but why is that break? Why do we?
like a first time. This
Why? Go ahead.
we need to break every pacing so that we don't overload the
Application. Yeah, that's fine. But overload, like if you need to overload it, you will be overloading it. Why we are not overloading it?
we make sure otherwise
Actually, we try to create the realistic situation, right? What is that realistic situation? When a general user use the software, right? When they open application, even for typing the password and user ID, it takes a little bit time, right? That's why we give it a little bit.
The original application is moving on. That's what
Yeah.
we try to make that scenario.
Realistic situation, right?
Also what happened? You did 20 seconds, right? But before thinking this, I changed it to 2 seconds, and I'm just thinking maybe this 2 seconds interrupted that some of the test cases didn't run. I'm gonna guess, but it can happen, isn't it?
Not really. The 2 second will hamper your execution, but for you, what you are saying, 11, I'm seeing that because of the password and user ID, it didn't
Okay.
work. So it is clearly, it is
It is not the time between the two actions.
actually not time between two transactions
Two transactions.
is think time.
Is there any,
Two action or transaction.
Yeah.
is there any standard think time like 20 seconds or 30
Yeah, normally we put 20-second think time in between transactions. Think time, if you do not put the think time, then nothing will happen, but your test will be kind of
Rush.
unrealistic.
So,
Unrealistic. No, you will be generating unrealistic load, so that's why you need to put the think time. Now let's say, you all can see I have opened the controller, and now I will be selecting the script. Now where is my script located? Browse, yeah, and then in performance testing, where is that script? This one, right? So this is my script, those that we did today, and also we did it last week. So I'm selecting this script. So you'll be selecting wherever your script is. So can you see this script is here now in the right hand side? That means you have selected this script. Now if you want to select multiple script, what you will do? You will do, can you see, if you want to select multiple script, you will be again browsing and select the script, or
one
if you
by one?
one by one.
Okay.
Okay, and then if you need to run multiple, today our plan is to execute multiple script, right? But right now let's go with,
Single.
yeah. Now you are seeing that it is opening the script here in the controller. So focus on you. Just after I do this, you will have to do this in the class, right? So make sure that you are understanding this. So here, right, I have opened the script, and this basic schedule, and then this script, right? This script, what is the load generator that I am going to select? Localhost. Localhost. So because we don't have, like in real life performance testing, for load generating we have some machines somewhere, we use them, but here this local computer is the load generator.
So if you don't have it, you have to add it, am I right?
Yeah, if we have those machine somewhere, we have to add them here.
Okay.
Yeah. Now see here, how many users we have? 10. And do we want to start all the users together?
No.
Let's say when you are running a performance test, do you want to start all the 1000 or 2000 users same time? No, you do not do that in that way. How you do it? Let's say if you are running a test with 2000 users, we ramp up the users gradually. Let's say every 15 seconds we bring 20 users, right? So as we have less number of users here, what I am going to do, simultaneous, this one I want to start one user every 10 seconds. One user every 10 seconds. So it will take around 10 seconds for 10 user to be ramped up. And then when I am, let's say run until completion, right? So how long I want to run it? So now we can say run until completion, or you can say run for 5 minutes or 6 minutes or 10 minutes or 1 hour. But what I want to do, I want to execute it for iterations, number of iterations. So how will you select? As I said, you can run it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour, or you can select how many times. Let's say how many users you are putting here. 10 users. So each of the users, how many times they will be driving the script? You want to mention. Let's say on the script, how many data we have on that script? 1000. But we want to execute only for first 100. First 100. So if we want to execute it for first 100, right? How many users we have? 10. So each of the users 10 times, right? So how you do it? You go to runtime settings. This is the runtime settings button, and from runtime settings button you select pacing. Remember that day the problem was we were selecting that proxy. We had a proxy, that's why it was failing. Now run logic, how many times we want to execute? Each of the users will be executing 10 times. Pacing, let's say we want to fix delay, how many seconds? 2 seconds. I mean in between each execution I am asking take 2 seconds. And then in log we want parameter substitution. Think time, we want, let's say, limit think time to 1 second. Actually I want to put 5 seconds here because I saw if I do it like too fast, then this computer throws some errors, because it is in the virtual machine. This virtual machine cannot take that load. Now
Are you gonna check the as recorded or in the think time?
which one?
As
Think time,
recorded.
can you see? No,
On the top. Yeah, as recorded.
no, I'm not selecting as recorded. I'm just saying limit think time to 10 seconds. Okay, or you can say 50 to 150%. Okay, and then additional attribute miscellaneous, we are generating screenshot, we are not looking this option. And then can you see in the miscellaneous I am selecting define each action as a transaction. I am not selecting this one.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I am not selecting this one later on. Now simulate browser cache, download non-HTML, everything will be there. Everything else is good. I am going to remove this one, and then I am going to click OK. Right? And then what I am going to do, can you see results? Results setting. I am going to save my result, not here and there. I want to save my results, let's say, in the desktop, and then okay, I want to give a folder name called 2017. What is the date today? 03/25 path testing. Right? I'm creating a folder for results. Right?
So in real life, like the date comes first usually in your work practice.
Normally I do it in that way. Okay?
So where do you save it again?
The results, like when you are executing your test,
Desktop.
you want to save the results somewhere.
Yes.
So we are saving in the desktop, and then we are giving a folder name. Okay, understood? Okay, then I'm clicking OK. But do you think I should do something else? Do I have anything more that I need to do? Who can tell me this answer? I have to do something. What is that?
Run.
No.
I have to do something before I execute the start execution. What is that?
So,
Server. You are right. So I'll have to start the server. HP web tool. Yeah, this is a local application. Now I'm going to start execution. Can you see? One by one, every 10 seconds, one user is. Can you see 9 users? How many users down now? So how many users running now? 2, right? And can you see every 10 seconds users are, you will see every 10 seconds users are ramping up. Can everyone see that
Yes.
from the screen?
7.
And can you see how many transactions passed? And if you want to see which transaction passed, let's say if you go there, can you see? Open application, click on sign up, right? So it was not able to reach like input information and click continue yet. But can you see from here? You can watch. We will see some error, because remember the first 3 data we already registered. So those data we cannot register again. That's why you are seeing those errors. Now can you see running view user? How many views are running? Can you see here that so far we have 5-6 users running, and then you can see all of the things. Can you see error statistics? You will be able to see the error statistics here, and then view user with errors. We do not have a view user with errors. Now transaction response time, right? Can you see transaction response time? You have click sign up now, these 2 transactions, and you can see the average response time. Now if you want to see what are those errors, go there. If you click on this one, you will be able to see the errors. Now can you see, let's see what if you double click on it, thank you not found, like when you are clicking on what, continue input user information, because that user is already registered, you will not be able to register it. Now let me see, actually you know what, for all of these users probably you will get this message, because these users I already registered them in that, like in the virtual machine. I didn't register them in the local machine, but I already registered them in the virtual machine during last class. So that's why for all of these users you will see that error, but we will do a complete analysis on it, just see how it goes. Now you take a look here, failed transactions, right? If you click on it, you will see all of the transactions are failing. Input information and click continue. Input information and click continue. It is failing where? Input information and click continue. And it is failing because those users are already registered. First top 100, like we are registering top 100 users. So now remember,
How long before it like shows all of the users that are registered?
which one?
How long will it take for it?
No, it will take like 3 or 4 5 minutes, and then it will be gone. So it already did. How many transactions? If you look at here, so far 37, 41 open application, right? So it will do another 49 login. Or I can stop this execution.
But you put it like only 10, so why are you going is
100, right?
Yes.
We put 10 users, but that 10 users, remember that how many iterations we have selected? 10 iterations.
10 iterations.
So for like 10 users, every time each of the user will be doing 10 iterations.
10 iterations. Okay.
10 iterations. Remember I give an example that day, let's say you have 100 cards here. You need to move them from here to, let's say, Lawrenceville. Now you have 10 drivers, right? What you will have to do, those 10 drivers will come here, will take 10 cars, drive there, and then they will be come back and drive another 10 drivers. So how many times they will have to? 10 times. So these users are your drivers, and the data in the script, it is your car. So those data we have planned that we will drive 100 data. Now we have how many users? 10. So if we want to drive 100 cars by 10 drivers, how many times they will have to drive? 10 times. So that's why we have, although we have 10 users, we have selected 10 iterations. Okay. Now we have done so far 64. I want to show you something, that's why I want to complete this execution. Let me pause recording here in the meantime. Can you see my execution is done? How will you make sure that your execution is done? Can you see this start scenario is enabled again? And can you see how many users running now? 0, right? Now let's take a look. We have created the results folder. Where? Can you see we have a folder here? Can everyone see?
Recording is on.
Yeah, recording is off. Yeah. This is our folder where we have saved our result. Now if I go there, can you see this button here? You click on this. This is your analysis. Remember, you have used virtual user generator to write a script. You have used controller to execute your script. Now you are seeing analysis, LoadRunner analysis to view your result. Okay. Now, if you take a look here, I want you to put your attention here. Can you see your test? You executed it for how long? You executed the test on 2017-03-25 from 10:56 till 11:05. You executed the test for how long? 9 minutes 34 seconds. How many B users were you using? 10. And then can you see your average hit per second? And then can you see total passed, how many transaction, total failed, how many transaction? You can see, right? Now can you see in opening application, right? What is the 98th percentile time? 4, 6, 5. What is the 98th percentile time? 4, 6, 5. 90th percentile. I'll give you definition what is 90th percentile. Right? I'll give you definition what is 90th percentile. Can you see in click sign up now? You have 90th percentile response time, that long. You have how many pass? 100. You have how many pass? 100. But when you are inputting information and click continue, you have how many? Fail? 100 failures, right? Now, what were those error messages? If you go to window and can you see controller output message? If you click on it, can you see this one? Now you will be able to see what were all of those error messages. Now let me show you what was all of those error messages. 100 error messages. If you click here, can you see all of the error messages are thank you not found. Because why thank you was not found? Because registered. Now you will be able to see there is another folder here, log, right? Can you see this folder? If you go there, if you go there, can you see there is a screenshot? If you open this, can you see this username is taken? Can everyone see this? You will see for every failure there is a screenshot. For every failure there is a screenshot here. What is that screenshot? This username is taken. So when you are writing your report, you will have to put screenshot from here. Can you see? For everything there is screenshot, right? This one is failed. All of the transaction basically failed because those users are already registered. Now take a look here. Can you see this one? This one means virtual user 1. How many virtual users we had in that script? 10 virtual users. This 2 means virtual users 2. This 3 means virtual users 3. This 10 means virtual user 10. Now if you open this text file, right? If you open this text file, you will see you will see each of the virtual user, like this is for which virtual user? One. If you see, each of the virtual users have how many iteration? Let me show you. No, not one iteration. Each of the virtual user has, if you go one by one, this is iteration 2. If you go one by one, iteration 3. If you go one by one, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? Right? And then, can you see every virtual users? Where did they fail? You will be able to see. You will be able to see ending. If you type ending iteration here, ending iteration. Now, can you see where they are failing? They are failing in 03 input information and click continue. They are failing here. Can you see they are failing here? Right? And one other thing you can see, it is interesting that because you have select parameter substitution, extended log parameter substitution, can you see for what ID it is failing? For this password it is failing, and for what ID it is failing? Can you see? It is trying to input this user ID and this password, but it is not successful. Right? Can everyone see this? Okay. Now, if you take a look here, we have details like what we did. Is it meaningful to you? The log that I am having?
Yes.
Okay. Then, if you take a look, now can you see this button here? View runtime settings. If you click here, I want to show you something. Now, take a look. Run logic, how many iteration? So, as I said, we can run it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or we can run it for that many iterations. Right? We have both options. So, we have chosen to run it for 10 iterations. And then pacing, how many seconds we provide?
2 seconds.
2 seconds. What is that pacing again? Can anyone tell me what is that pacing? Every iteration. When one iteration is done, before it will start another iteration, it will be taking
2 seconds.
time. Now let me show you how this was actually working, this iteration. Now if you go there, right, if you open this log file, let's say we are opening for user 2. Now if you open it and let's say if you look for ending iteration, can you see we have ended iteration 1 here, and after ending iteration 1, can you see we have a waiting 2 seconds before we start another iteration. Why is that? Can you see we have waited 2 seconds and then we have started iteration 2 because we have a pacing time. Right? You will see for the next one the same thing. Can you see here? Right? And then for the next one, same thing. In between every iteration, we have that
2 seconds.
2 second pacing time. Now, that think time, right? Where is that think time? Where is that think time? Let me show you the think time. Now, if you go to the runtime settings on, okay, let me go one by one. Now, log. What did we selected? Extended log parameter substitution. What it will do when you select extended log parameter substitution, in your script, wherever you have used a parameter, let's say if you go back to your script, if you come back here, can you see we have used parameters in here? Can you see this is a parameter? Right? This is a parameter password, p user id, p password, right? And can you see what line number it is? 73. 73, right? Now, let me go to the log. Let me go to the log here. Now, if you go to the line 73 of the script, actually we were not able to reach line 73 because our sign up was not successful, right? Now let me go back to the script here. Now if you come here on this one, we are trying to submit this one, right? Now
Question here. So the password parameterization is done. Confirming password, do we need to do the parameterization?
yes,
But it's fast. Some of it is fast. So it works without parameterization.
it will like confirm parameter probably you did. For some of them the password is same, but for some of them password is when you are inputting information. Right. Now what I'm trying to make you understand here is what is that parameter substitution. Now if you take a look, can you see that line number 13 we are capturing what? We are capturing this session ID, right? Now if you go back to your folder over there, you will see line number 13. Can you see line number 13, saving parameter session ID? So if you do not select parameter substitution, you will not see that, right? And then if you keep going, then can you see when you are logging in line number 45, right? Can you see you can see what user ID, what password you have used because of that parameter substitution. If you don't have that parameter substitution, let me tell you a situation. Sometimes can you see this text file? They are pretty big. When you are running a test with, let's say, 20,000 users, you might not be able to use parameter substitution, because if you use it, it will create too many log. Can you see? Huge log it will create, and then the load generator where you are executing the test, it will be out of disk space. So if you are running a test use with lot of users, then you might not use parameter substitution. Extended log parameter substitution. If you see that your test is failing because of the space, then you do not select this.
So in that case,
Standard log. And you can do one other thing. Let me show you here. Instead of going standard log, you can say, can you see send message? Can you see this? Send message only when error, and you select here how many messages. Let's say you want to have 100 kilobyte of data. So only there will be error, it will capture 100 kilobyte of data. 100 kilobyte of no, not more than that.
But it will recognize the error in
It will be on in between that error. From the error previous 100 kilobyte means 100 kilobyte means what? 1 kilobyte is 1024 byte, right? 1024, right? So it will be like that many characters. Okay, 100,000 characters will capture. Sometimes it is not enough.
Depends on your space. If it's too long, then you don't put.
Then you select log only when there is a error. You got it? Then next, come to the next one, think time, right? What is the think time option we have selected? We have selected 50 to 150, right? 50 to 150. Now actually 50 to 150, let me see actually in our script what is the think time. Now if you come here, our think time is 20 seconds. So 50 to 150, it will be a random percentage. So 50% of this is 10 seconds. 150% is this 30 seconds. So our think time will be in between 10 seconds to 30 seconds, a random time. Now if you take a look, if you go back to the machine over there, right? Let me go there. Let me show you the log file. Now can you see we are opening application here, right? And after opening application, that is where our opening application is done. And after that, can you see LR think time 22.07 seconds? It played a think time for 22.07 seconds. Is it in between 10 to 30 seconds? And then let's see for the next transaction, when we click on sign up, after sign up, you will see actually there will be no think time because we failed here. Sign up didn't completed successfully. That's why we do not have a think time. Then let me see what is the think time for the next one. Now if you take a look, can you see we have a think time for 29.11 because we have selected think time from 50 second to 150 second, 150%. That means 20 second becomes 10 second to 30 second. Then let me show you some other runtime settings those we used. If you go back there, you will see, can you see miscellaneous, right? Generate snapshot on error. Can you see this? Remember, we were able to see where it failed by going there. When you click on this link, it is showing where it failed. So it has captured that snapshot because in the runtime settings we have mentioned generate snapshot on error, right? And define each action as a transaction. We have unchecked this. If you have this one checked, right, I'll show you this time when we execute the test. Take a look here. We have open application, click on sign up, input. So whatever transaction we have in the script, we only can see those transactions. But if you have that option selected, you will see in the script you have this action. You will see this action as a transaction. But we didn't select this. Now, is this clear what this runtime settings means? Clear, right? Now, I am going to execute the same test for good data so that it pass this time. Now, please everyone focus on my screen. What I am going to do here? Let me show you. Can you see? So we did a little bit analysis, right?
Yes.
Now you can see the way we have ramp up the users. Can you see every 2 seconds we have the users ramping up? Can you see the way it took a little while to ramp up all of the users? And then can you see after it did, then it executed and the users gradually ramped down. And then can you see our users were ramping up till 1 minute of the test, right? Our users were ramping down from 7th minute, or let's say from 6:30, right? Can you see from, guys, focus on here, from, we can definitely say from 1 minute. You can do one other thing, right click, and then can you see display options? You select here absolute time, and then can you see from 10:57 we have 10 users. How many users? And for how long we have 10 users? 11:02. 10:57 to 11:02. Now if you take a look hits per second, can you see? Let me make this one absolute time as well. Can you see from 10:57 we have reached? Can you see when our users were ramping up, our hits per second were low as well. It was gradually going up, and then from 11:02 can you see our hits per second is falling down because our users were ramping down, right? And then you come here in throughput, right? Remember we have discussed throughput at a given time, how many data we are passing through the application channel. Can you see when our users were ramping up, our throughput is low, and then when our users were ramping down, our throughput is going down, and when our users were high, can you see? Okay. Then transaction summary, like open application we have executed that many times, click on sign up now we have executed that many times, input sign up information and click continue we have executed that many times. Average transaction response time, if you take a look for open application, this is the average response time. For click on sign up, this is the average response time, right? Is it meaningful? Okay. And then let's say you want to bring another graph. you want to bring error graph, errors per second graph. Now can you see that this error per second graph, so throughout the test, right, we have errors. When our users were ramping up, initially there were no errors because initially we were opening application, then we click on sign up, and then when we are trying to submit the data, we saw the errors, right? Then our errors gradually were there. So when you are preparing your report, you're gonna put all of this data in your report. Now you understood, right? Let's say one other thing, running B users, right? Running B users and hits per second. You know that these running B users and hits per second are related. How? When our users were ramping up, hits per second were gradually increasing, right? When our users were ramping down gradually, can you see hits per second is falling down? Can you see? Now let's say you want to combine, right? You want to merge graph. You want to merge hit per second and right click and merge graph. And which one you want to merge? Running B users and hits per second. Click OK. Can you see a new graph created? Right? Now if you take a look here, this is your running B user, right? Can you see when your B users are going up, your hit is going up as well, right? And then when your user reach a stable level, your hits per second was stable as well. And then when your users are falling down, your hits per seconds are falling down as well.
Like a correlation between?
Yeah. In that way, like when you are doing analysis, when you are preparing a report, you need to measure those things. Now, my next goal. So far, do you have any question?
You have shown something with the window. Would you please kindly repeat?
Which one?
Here, this window. You are clicking on window.
Window. Okay. It is. If you go to window, can you see controller output message? Those error messages, like what is the errors warning you got. So you will be able to see. Can you see here?
Yeah.
The error is for what B user?
Yeah.
This error is for B user. Take a look here. For what B user? This error is for B user. B user 2. And what iteration? Iteration 1. So we will analyze. We will learn how to analyze, like from how you will be when you see an error, how you will figure out what is that error. We will learn it. Okay. What is the question?
Why? Why is it dropping?
Which one dropping?
Dropping down.
Oh, this one here?
Yeah.
Because like remember when users have executed 10 iteration, right? Let's say one user already executed 10 iteration, he will not be executing anymore, right? That's why he is going out. So when one user gone, then how many users we have? 9. So in that way it is falling down. Okay. Now let's come to the further discussion. Yes. So I'm going to save it here. Execution. Guys, if you understand this, it is really interesting. If you do not understand it, you will find hard time. Okay. So how will you understand it? We are recording it. We did the discussion multiple times. You watch it in your home. Right? Practice it. Okay. Now you come here. Can you see design view? Right? From design view, can you see this script? You click on this one. So I am going to open the script here to do something. I will be doing something on the script. Actually, in the next class, I want to take an exam for half an hour. Whatever I did, you will have to do it. I'll be marking the exam.
For the
LoadRunner.
You cannot do
It will be practical, total practical exam.
just for the one with the last class and this class.
I'll tell you
Even
at the end
if
of the
you
class.
have case and you need to do the
Yeah, I'll give you test case. You will have to do the script and then you will have to execute it from controller. I'll tell you at the end of the class. I'll tell you.
Tomorrow next class you're gonna do it on Saturday because you say
No, in next class Saturday I'll have to find out a common time from you. Probably I can do any of the night. I can take. Oh, next class I'll not be. Actually, the exam will be in the following class, not the coming class. Now, in the next class, like what is the suitable time? Like if I want to take the class during night, what will be the suitable time for you?
Next class will be online class.
Online class, yeah.
Saturday night?
No, Saturday night.
Yeah. Saturday night.
Saturday night is a little bit trouble. What about having the class on Thursday night?
Thursday night we have it. Tuesday night.
From what time to what time? Maksud bhai class? 10 to 12, right? Can I take it from 8 to 10?
No, 8 to 10 is Madri.
Okay, that's fine. Then what about Wednesday night?
Yeah, Wednesday.
10 to 12, can we do it? Everyone? This week, yeah, Wednesday. Only this week because I'll have some guests. Next Saturday, no class. It will be online class. Mhm.
okay, online Wednesday, right?
Wednesday what time?
Wednesday at 10.
Not this coming Wednesday, following Wednesday.
This Wednesday.
This Wednesday. So I want to fail this 152. So 109 and 150 we already registered. So for these two users, when it will try to register, it will be failing. Now this script we change from 101. Click close. Before I click close, I'll have to close this.
So you will register these two, that's why these two will be
No,
come to here.
we are going to register from 101 to 100, 200.
But 150 and 109 will register, so these two will be able to come out.
Error, yeah.
Because you will register one time.
Yeah. Now I'm clicking save. Now close this. Let's go to the controller. What you will have to do, if you go to, can you see this? Can you see this details? You click on it, and can you see? You can refresh. Refresh what? Script. Right? Because we changed something, so we refresh the script so that it reflect here. And on runtime settings again, why do you need to change runtime settings? We are making the runtime settings. Let's see what's the runtime settings now. Now run logic, how many iteration? 10. So how many data from 101 to 120 will be executed? Pacing. This time pacing, I want a random pacing. I want a what? Random pacing from 5 seconds to 10 seconds. Is it clear? Log. Now log. Again I want to keep log always, right? But if you need, you can select this one, right? You know what is the purpose of this? Then it will be collecting log if only error. But I am selecting always log. Pass fail always log. And then think time. This time I am going to reduce the think time. I am going to limit think time to 5 seconds. Instead of giving a random, I am limiting think time to.
So what you put at 100 is on the log.
Oh, log. It is actually, let's say you do not want to capture log always.
Oh.
As I said, if you run a huge test, then your machine might be out of disk space if you have too much log. So what you can do, send message only when error happens. Let's say in the test there is a problem, then you only want to see the log. What you do, you mention here 100 kilobyte of data. How many data you want as a log? Now think time, we have limited think time 5 seconds. Miscellaneous generates snapshot on error, right? Why is that? If there is an error, so that it keep your screenshot. Now can you see define each action as a transaction? You have already seen that in this test, the test that we executed. I'm trying to bring it here. Oh, actually I'll have to. So if you take a look in this, the previous test that we executed, in this test, what we saw in the analysis, we only saw the transactions from the script. You will see when it comes, I'll show you. But in this one I'm selecting define each action as a transaction. Define each action as a transaction. And then if you take a look here in the previous test, can you see any action here in this list? No, the action is not there. Now you will see the action will be there. And then configuration, speed limitation, browsing, that's fine, proxy, preferences, now file enabler. Okay, that's it. Now what is the other thing we need to do? Let's say this time start all users. Let's say we want to start, instead of one user every 10 seconds, we want to start one user every, or two users every 20 seconds. 20 seconds, or let's say two users every 40 seconds, right? Huh? Oh, this window, if you double click here, yeah, 40 seconds.
So that's a lot of time, isn't it?
Yeah, it will take like for 10 users it will take. So let's do like, let's do 5 users every 40 seconds, right? So then it will take 2 minutes for the users to no, less than 2 minutes, 80 seconds. Apply. Okay.
So it will be stuff like after 100 user is done. So they will select any place like after 100.
Oh, it is if you go to runtime settings, right? Oh. Okay. Cancel. If you go to runtime settings, design, runtime settings. In the runtime settings, can you see run logic? We ask 10 iteration. That means 10 user, everyone will be doing 10 iteration and then they will be exiting.
Okay. So then is 10 iteration is every time.
Each of the user will be doing 10 iteration, and then this user will be exiting out from the test. Then you come here, run until completion. And what is the other thing you can do? You can select run for 5 minutes or whatever you want. But we are executing here for run until completion. Completion means, what is the completion point? No, what is the completion point? 10 iteration for every 10 iteration for every users. You understand what is the completion? We are saying run until completion. What is it completion?
10 iteration.
10 iteration for every users. Now, can you see in the result settings? You will forget result settings. Make sure you have result settings correct. Now, perf testing, execution 2, right? Are we good? Everything set? All set? Browser is running? Server is running? Let's keep it off. Can you see 5 users already ramped up? Another 5 users will be ramping up after 40 seconds. Can you see? 5 users already ramp up, is running, 5 users down. And if you look at the transaction, can you see so far we have open application, click on sign up now. Can you see input? Can you see login using? Now it is going through all the way.
Yeah.
Previously it didn't go after click on sign up. Now it is going all the way up to log out. Okay, keep watching it. Will I keep recording? Okay, let me.
So it wasn't?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, recording.
It's going in sequence.
Yeah, now we have 10 users ramped up, right? So if you take a look, what are those past transactions, right? You'll be able to see. Can you see? Open application passed 23 times. Your you can see everything from here, right? And can you see TPS, transaction per second? Every second how many transactions happening? And if you want to see other thing like hits per second, you can view everything from here. Let me close this. So when you are executing a performance test, you normally click on this and view everything from here. Let's say in real application you will be able to add, you will be able to monitor, like let's say this application is hosted in a internet in a server. So in that server, what is the CPU being used, what is the memory being used, everything you can monitor from here, right? Performance testing, the purpose is to make sure the CPU is not too high. CPU we say too high if it is more than 60. Okay, if you see CPU is reaching 80%, 90%, then you will say no, it's not good. Right now we are running it in local server, right? Let's see what is the condition of CPU. If you go to task manager, can you see CPU is reaching sometimes 100% here, because this is a virtual machine, right? So if you see when you are running a performance test, if you see situation like this is not good in the application. If CPU is spiking to 100%, this is not good.
So what do we do?
You report it. Yeah, the CPU is too high.
They will bring another physical.
Yeah. Now if you take a look here, it failed here somewhere. I want to see thank you not found, right? We know that it will happen because we have some
109 and 158.
we have some data issue.
I'm gonna miss day you're gonna take this. So
No.
I believe I'm the most painful one of the testing environment, right? Because for 1 minute is the way I give you my time.
Yeah.
30 seconds, right?
Now, according to our setup, how many failures we should see here? 2, right?
2.
But can you see over there failed transactions? How many?
4.
I'll tell you why 4 transactions is failed.
This is 1.
No, Our error is 2. We know 109 and
150.
150 will be failed. So error is 2, but failed transactions how many? 4. I'll tell you why it is 4.
This is 4. Okay.
4, yeah.
4 or 1, look like 4.
I thought what?
Oh, this 4?
Mhm.
4.
Failed transactions 4. I'll tell you why it is 4.
In the real world, are you doing this? Are you going to pass it?
Hmm?
In the real world, are you continuing to virtual LoadRunner
Yeah.
in the past? Or like you said,
Hmm?
what about you said, are you using the same thing like?
Yeah. Like I'm using LoadRunner and UFT both actually.
So that's why your area.
Mhm.
And also, Samosa, you trained
Done here, right? You have seen as we supposed to, we are seeing 2 failures, right? See here, okay, what I'm showing you here. If you click on these failures, errors, right? These are the errors. If you click on these errors, and then if you click here, can you see? Can you see 2 errors, right? Now, what is the? Hold on, I want to bring something. Generated localhost lines 1 message. Now, can you see here what I'm doing? I'm clicking on this, and then can you see total message? I'm clicking on it. Now the first failure. So when you are doing a performance test, if your test has failure, you will have to explain each of the failure. What are these failures? Is it problem in the application? Is it because of data? What is that error? You'll have to give your corresponding data for it, right? Now you can you can see here virtual user, right? What is the virtual user? For the first error, virtual user 1, and what is the iteration? 9. Virtual user 1, iteration 9, right? Remember, virtual user 1, iteration 9. Now you go to your desktop. Let me minimize it. Okay, so this is the execution, right? Execution 2. Now if you go there, if you go to the log file, right? Now virtual user 1, and iteration 9, and if you can you see there is a screenshot. What is that screenshot? User is taken. This user is
Now you can see the 109.
right 109.
Yeah.
Now you are sure. Okay, this is what happening, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then if you go to the virtual user 1, how will you see the details of the error? Virtual user, can you see this is the virtual user 1, right? Open it. What is the iteration? 9. Ending iteration 9. Now can you see it is failed here? Can you see the error message? It failed here while inputting information. Now for what data? Can you see the data is this one, password is this one, this user is already registered. You understood this? How I am troubleshooting this error? Okay, so first error is troubleshoot. Now what you are doing, guys, I'm going to open PowerPoint. right? Look,
Okay, you wanna do that?
yeah, I'm going to open PowerPoint and let me bring it here.
One question.
Mhm.
This the error. Okay, the way we are checking and we are troubleshooting.
Mhm.
Um, how how we present to our lead or manager this, because it's not enough time. So do we take that screenshot or copy paste, make one file and submit and show? How we do that?
We make a presentation.
In the presentation
In the
we show
presentation,
that?
some organization they prepare a word report. Some organization they prepare a slideshow.
Okay.
So it depends on.
So Word or
very-
PowerPoint,
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
okay.
Now we had previously created a report. We had previously created a test execution report. I'm going to bring that report and then I'm going to edit that report for this test that we executed right now.
What was the point for the first round and the second round? Which one you doing?
This is the second round we will be analyzing.
Okay.
Because first round was
Yeah,
not meaningful, right? Now guys, take a look here. Generally in your work you will be preparing a similar report. Okay, so let's say we are giving a name, performance testing report, HP web tools application. Performance engineer, you are giving your name, right? Right, and then I'm not changing anything here. Then you come here, next slide. Let's say normally we put another field here, date. What is the date today? 03 17, right? Now here, so this slide is done. You put a little bit summary. Let's go to the next slide. Application overview. You provide a application overview. Normally this application overview, let me put it somewhere else. So this is a slide. Let me insert another text box here. So are we good, like 12:40 something like this?
Yeah.
Abdul, are you? Okay. Now application overview, you normally put it somewhere up there. You make it, let's say, bigger, more bigger. You make it different color. Okay, application overview. This application is a test application that comes with HP LoadRunner. It has some functions for reserving flights. User can reserve flight by using this application. Now when you are testing an application, you will provide a little bit background on this application here in the report, right? Then you come here, performance overview. Now again the same thing, but for performance overview, let me bring that slide from there and bring it here and move this text from here to there. Right, now in the performance overview, what you say something about the application. Now you say what is your performance goal. The purpose of performance testing is to verify the performance of HP web tools application. Our goal is to verify that the application satisfies all of the performance criteria, right? And let's say if the application has some modification or code update, you mention, let's say, the new code update doesn't degrade the overall performance. And to make sure that the new code update doesn't degrade the overall performance of the application.
So this is like regression.
Lot of time the application, you have a new build, right? You are updating some code, so you say the new code or new code update. Yeah, you mention it here. Or if you have, let's say, they are upgrading a particular module of the application, you mention it. Okay, this module is being executed, so we want to make sure that the performance is good after the modification. Then you come here, execution summary, right? Let's say in the execution summary, right, you put a little bit of the execution summary. Again, the same thing I will do. I will take this one, similar, be pasting it here, and then from the other one I'll be bringing that one from there. Control X. Right, so over there we put it here, execution summary. Now what can you see this when you have, like, let me go there, this analysis, right, for the new test. Is it for the new test? No, this is for the old test. Now let me bring the execution summary for the new test. Where will you get it? You will get it from this one. So when you execute it, it is there, right? Now it is preparing the report for us. Okay, now this is the execution summary, right? Now remember, in the difference between the previous one, the previous time when we executed, we already only saw the transactions, right? But this time, can you see, with transactions we have this action, we have this init, right, and end action. These things are extra. If you select that radio button, if you go to runtime settings, and if you go to this one, if you go to miscellaneous, define each action as a transaction, if you have this one checked, then it will be bringing that this 3 line here. Okay, that is the purpose. Now can you see, we have 2 failures. Can you see, we have 2 failures in inputting information and clicking continue, but failed transactions how many? 4. Why? Because when this transaction is failing, this transaction is part of this action, right? If you go back to your script, guys, if you go back to your script from the design view, if you go back to your script, I'm just trying to go back to my script. Okay, now well, this is coming. So what I'm trying to point here, can you see that although it failed twice, but it is showing 4 failed transactions, because remember this action, all of the transactions are under this action. Do you understand this?
Yes. So, Maka,
So all of the, as we understand that under this script, right?
Yeah, let me
The
bring
failure
it
now is
here.
combined
I'm
with
bringing it
before.
here. I'm bringing it here. Give me a second. Are we feeling sleepy?
No.
Okay.
very good.
Now, what I'm trying to point here, I have 2 failures, but it is showing 4 failures. So why it is 4? Because I know these 2 transactions failed because of the data, but when these 2 transactions are failing, these 2 transactions are part of this action.
Yeah.
All of the transactions are under action. So when this 2 transaction fails, that means this action also
Action
fails,
was associated.
right? So that's why 2 and 2, 4. So if you do not select in the runtime settings, if you do not select this action, then those things will not appear. Yeah, only 2 errors. But some people, what they want, some people also want to see how many times this script executed. Can you see? This script executed 98 times, passed, 2 times fails. They want to see this. So that's why I leave it on you. Normally when I execute test, I do not keep these 3 lines. Okay. Then let's come. So in the report, we are going to get a summary of this execution. How will I get the summary of this execution? I'll take a snapshot of this case. So the script, okay, the thing I was trying to show you, can you see this action? If you double click on this action, actually can you see all the transactions are inside this action. So if one of the transaction fails, it will fail this action as well. So that's why if your transaction fails twice, actually your failed will be 4. If your transaction fails 3 times, your failed will be 6, because your transaction is failing also this action. Okay. Now let's go back to the reporting. So if you come here, let me take a screenshot of this summary. So this is the summary of the execution, right? I'm taking a screenshot and then I'm going to remove this. I'm going to paste it here. Now can you see it is actually overlapping with some of the text? So what you can do, you can click on the corner and you can make it smaller, or right, and then you mention here what is the summary of the execution. We have 2 error messages where our transaction failed for invalid password. So here again we have 2 failures. We have 2 error messages where our transaction failed. Why did they fail? Because those users already registered. So failed for users already registered, right? Out of how many transactions we had in that script? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Now let's say our 90th percentile response time, right? So let me actually, before I do that, which one is our test case? In this test case, let me introduce something else. I am going to introduce here insert columns to the right, and then I'm going to bring it a little bit this side. Actually it is okay. Now let me do a page layout here, layout, and this setup, this setup, let me do 5, 5, 5, 5. Okay, now let me make this one. Okay, now let's say expected response time. Let's say each of the page we are expecting they will be coming within 0.3 second. 0.3 second. So what is our expectation for each of the page? Response time will be 0.3 second. Let's say for logout we have an expectation for 2 seconds, right? Now if you go back here, what you can do, can you see tools and then configure SLA roles? Click there, new, and let's say percentile, right? Next, and you select all of the transaction. We are actually not all of them, this 5 transaction, right? Click next. Now what is the time? For all of the transaction our time is 0.3, except this logout our time is 2. Next, finish, close. Now you will see it will, can you see that let me bring all of the transaction actually were not able to meet. Can you see our 90th percentile expectation is 0.3 for all of the transaction. Let's not be so much strict on this poor application. Let him have a little bit flexibility. Let's give it 0.5, let's give it 0.6, right? Let's give it 0.5, let's give it 0.5. I'm trying to make it like nice looking result. So in general, when you are doing performance testing, this time will be coming from the business team. They will be asking, okay, we want this page to be coming within this time. Yeah, but here we are putting this data as we are liking. Now if you go there, you will, can you see this SLA? You click on it. Now you edit that SLA, right? You edit this percentile. Next, here, what is the thing? For all of the thing we have 0.5, except back one transaction, apply all, which one? 0.5, except which one? This one, right? This one has 0.6, so I'm going to make it 0.6. Next, finish, close. Now you will see it will be a little bit nice looking, probably a couple of transactions will fail. Now can you see some of the transaction passed? This transaction we have 0.98 percentile point 3 second, but this transaction is more than 0.5 second, this is more than 0.5 second, this is more than 0.6 second, this is more than 0.5 second. So only two transactions met the expected response time. Now I am going to take another screenshot of this. So let's say actually I'm going to bring it. No, it will be. Now can you see I cannot bring everything in one screen. So what I'm going to do, this is logout. If I get up to logout, we are good, right? So I'm going to take, where is that snipping tool? I'm going to take from here to there, up to logout, right? Now if you need to take more than logout, what will you do? You will open paint, will be opening paint, and then in paint what we are going to do, right, we are going to make it bigger. Can you see how I'm making it bigger? So what you can do, another thing, view, right, and then actually from here you can select view, status bar, full screen, home, size, resize, right? You can save pixels. Let's say right now horizontal we have 861, we do not need that much, we need, let's say, 700. Do not keep this ratio. And vertical we want, let's say, 700. So now can you see it is a little bit smaller, is not good. We want bigger than, we want longer. So let's say pixels, and let's say we want over there 800 vertical. Now it's bigger, right? Now paste it here. Now you have partially. Now how will you bring the remaining part? Let's say the remaining part is here underneath, right? You want to bring everything, so you will be taking another screenshot here, another screenshot. We already took up to logout, so now we will be taking from here, right? From here to, we need up to that, right? Then go to your paint and you paste it here and then move it underneath, right? Now we have all the things that we need, right? Is it? Do you have really everything? No, still we have. Can you see it is going underneath? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So how will I make it bigger? I can do another resize here, go there, ratio, let's make it, no, 825, right? Actually this is making my, hopefully this time it is making my text a little bit looking bad, right? So what I'm going to do, instead of doing in that way, once you have something, you cannot, I can open another paint, right? I can open another paint, and in another paint I can do this size. So what is the size I want? Let's say I want 700 by 830, right? Now from the first paint you paste it here, actually you paste it, let's bring the first one, this one, right? Actually I do not want the whole thing, so what I am going to do, I am going to select from that much, right? Copy, and then going to the next one, paste, right? Now let's go for the this one, copy and paste it here, and then move it underneath, right? Now we have, let's see, now we have everything, right? Now it is a little bit bigger. Can you see we have extra space? Let's make it. Now you copy this and go back to your PowerPoint. You remove it, paste it here. Now can you see it is too big? So what we will have to do? We will have to shrink it. So let's keep it up to that. Let's do shrink. Let's do from here. Now can you see out of 2 error messages where transaction failed, users already registered, failed because users failed, or users already registered. Then out of 5 transactions, right? Out of 5 transactions, 3 of the transaction didn't meet the expected response time, right? Is it clear? And you can see which 3 transactions were used, right? And then if you want to provide any more details, let's keep going. That slide is okay. Is it you still need to? Okay, now it is good. Next, let's go to the next slide. Now can you see this is screenshot SLA? Now let's again go to our this one, and can you see graph? Right click, analyze SLA. When you select this, now you will get the SLA screenshot. Take a screenshot again by using that snipping tool. You take up to this, and then go to your PowerPoint, service level agreement, you remove it, paste it here. Now what you can see, 3 of the transaction didn't match the expected transaction response time, where you saw they went slightly above of the expected response times, right? Then you come here for the next slide, running view users, right? Running view users. Again, I can do it a little bit design here. Running view users, and I want this text to be what color? Let's say this color, right? And running view users, the way if you go back there, this analysis, running view users, right? Can you see running view users? Now this is the running view user graph. So what we can do, we can take another screenshot for this. We can take another screenshot for this running view users, right? And then you go to your PowerPoint and put running view users. Now you want to put something, insert text here. You want to insert it. So what was the ratio? The way you ramp up the users, we ramped up of 5 users every 40 seconds, right? And then you come to the next next slide. Hits per second, right? You can put all of the graph the way I put it, and then actually, can I quickly put those graphs in the report? Everyone good with that? Everyone good? Okay, let me finish it. So we put running users, and then remember that, let me show you one other thing, the way you can bring graph, that is important as well. Now if I go back to this machine, where did I save this result? I saved this result in desktop, but I'm going to move it from desktop to somewhere else. So I have the results currently here. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go to the computer 3QI labs, and let's say I'm going to put it here. I have a reason I am bringing it here. Now you will be able to access it from your base machine, right? Now if you go to your this drive, and then if you sort it, can you see details, DQI labs, and if you sort it by date, right, if you scroll a little bit down, you will see the folder here, this folder, right? So let me start analysis from here. The purpose of starting analysis from here, there is a reason. So when we are taking the graph, actually we can what is happening?
4 minutes.
No problem.
How much time you have? 5 minutes or?
I think 5-7 minutes. Okay, so now if you take a look, I'll have to do that. How did I analyze the SLA, configure SLA, and then from there new, and then from there next percentile, and what are the transactions? These are the transactions, next, and then what is the time? 0.5, apply to all, and accept. This one is 0.6, next, finish, and close. Now we have it. So the purpose was, can you see, we got running users. Now hits per second, we want to get the graph for hits per second. Now can you see graph, actually edit and copy to clipboard, graph. So then what you can do, if you go to your, can you see running users are already done. Now hits per second, right? We are going to do hits per second. We do not need this. Now if you paste it, can you see that graph, actually hits per second, we copy it. Instead of taking screenshot, we copy it directly the graph, right? Now you can see that in the application, if you want to add something, a text, let's say you want to add a text called let me make this one, and let me add, insert a text box here. Where is my text box? This one, right? So what is the average transaction per second? You can see here around 9.5, right? Average transaction per actually average hits per second, hits per seconds were around what 9.5
So
9.5.
I will get the 9.5. Then that one
That's right.
If
the
you-
one and half is like 12.5.
So let's say if you do average it,
Oh, average, okay.
you come to a average value. Now we have the average here. Actually the actual average is 7.769, but we do not want to calculate this one because when we were actually we can directly tell from here 7.769. 7.769. But if you see when you are fully ramped up over there, what is your average? 9.5. Because you do not want to calculate when you are ramping down and when you are ramping up. Then you come to the next slide, throughput, right? You put throughput in the similar way from there, and then what is that? Transaction response time. Now you will see how we bring transaction response time as well. So I am going there, and transaction response time, right? So can you see this transaction response time? One of the transaction was taking too high. What is that transaction? This is actually your action. You do not want to keep it over there because action is totally how much time it is taking. Your action how much time taking. So I remove that. Now if you take a screenshot or if you view actually edit, copy to clipboard, graph, and then you go to your report, you remove it and paste it here. Now can you see, if you take a screenshot you will have to process it, but we are directly getting it from the analysis. That's why it is a little bit easier for us, right? Let me make it a little bit smaller and let me make this text formatted. What is that? That color, right? And then what is the next graph? Errors per second, right? Errors per second. Again you go there, again you go to your analysis, and can you see how you bring the errors per second graph? Add new graph, and then from here errors per second, open graph. Can you see? So if you want to show actually at what time those error happened, you will be selecting absolute time, right? Now you can see at what time those error happened, and what you do, edit, copy to clipboard, graph, and then you go to your analysis. Errors per second, you remove this, you put it here, right? And you make this is, and then finally if you want to put other graphs, you put it, and you come here, you put your observation and recommendation, what you have, what you are recommending for them. But before you do that, you will be able, you will need to put some more information regarding what are those errors, right? What are those errors? So regarding errors, I will be putting one more screenshot here, and then I will be done with this report. I will duplicate one of the slide. Let's say this slide. You will be putting error details. Now in error details, how you will find the error details, right? So if you go to the folder over there, if you go to log, and can you see, if you bring this screenshot up here, it is bringing that screenshot, right?
Not the number one. It was saying,
You will see like it is bringing that screenshot.
yeah.
Yeah, let's bring the screenshot, and then we will be providing a little bit information regarding those errors, right? Now while it is opening it, let me,
Can you check our screen quickly before you do?
sure, I'll do it. Now here, can you see your username? Now let's take a screenshot here and show them. Okay, we have two of the failures. what were the failures? So you go there, you put insert a text box. You mention here what was the failures. Let's say 2 failures were related to users already registered, right? And then you put a screenshot, right? You put a screenshot here, then okay, these 2 failures, they totally understand users were. Now if you have any recommendation, then you go to the recommendation part. You say response time for opening application higher than SLA, or whatever, wherever you saw response time is higher, you mention it. Although you saw 2 errors during our performance review, but those errors were expected and data related. So you put your observation here, whatever you have observed. Now when you are done with this reporting, normally when you are done with performance testing, you set up a walkthrough with all the people, project team, BA team, project management team, executive team, and then you provide a walkthrough to them. Okay, we did performance testing on this application, and that is what we got, that is what we were able to find out, and that is what activities we did, that is what we saw, and you view your result. Clear, everyone? So I was not able to go through, like, let you do the work in the class, but on Thursday make sure that whatever we did, Wednesday at 10, make sure that whatever we did today, it is ready on your computer, so that I can go through. Basically it will be going through your work Wednesday, and if you have any issue, I'll be solving it, and if I can finish it, then I'll be bringing new topics. Alright, so that's all for today. Thank you for your patience, it was long time. Talk to you again on Wednesday at 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. at night. Thank you. Bye.